After the college entrance exam results were released, my childhood sweetheart suddenly decided to repeat a year with the school beauty. A friend joked with him, "What about your little girlfriend at home? Didn't you guys agree to go to Harvard together?" Gu Xingjian then belatedly realized, "Shinzi? It's okay, I'll just tell her, she'll definitely repeat a year with me. Anyway, she can't leave my house after all these years." I was stunned for a long time, then silently left, pretending I didn't know anything. That night, I opened the college application system and filled in my dream university. He didn't know. He has the school beauty he wants to pursue, and I have my own dreams to chase. The agreement to go to Harvard together was never for him. Gu Xingjian's words left me stunned in place, my breath almost stopping. Working hard together to get into Harvard was something we had agreed on since high school. So many days and nights of joint effort, we finally saw the light. But he didn't even discuss it with me, deciding to repeat a year on his own. Inside the private room, the voices of friends continued, "How do you know Shinzi will definitely agree to repeat a year with you? Her grades are so good, Harvard is definitely in the bag." Gu Xingjian laughed dismissively, as if he had heard a joke. "It's precisely because her grades are good that she can definitely get in if she repeats for another year. But what would she do if she didn't go to college with me?" he said, sounding a bit helpless. His friend, dazed for a moment, burst into laughter. "That's right, Shinzi's food, clothing, and expenses all depend on your family's support. Without our young Master Gu, where would she get the money for tuition? That's why young Master Gu is so great, chasing his dream girl right into his own home, so she can't run away even if she wants to." Gu Xingjian looked up from the game and scoffed, "Ever since she moved into my house, her attitude towards me has completely changed. If I tell her to repeat a year with me, would she dare say no?" Another friend couldn't help but chime in, "Xingjian, I don't think that's very fair of you. Shouldn't you at least discuss it with her first?" Gu Xingjian's finger paused on the screen, and he said impatiently, "There's nothing to discuss. I've already promised Qin Ran. I'll just tell her on WeChat later. If she knew I was repeating a year for Qin Ran, I don't know how much of a fuss she'd make. Besides, it's not like I decided on a whim. Qin Ran failed her college entrance exam and is already depressed. She hopes I can repeat a year with her." Hearing this, several friends tacitly exclaimed, "That's true, the beautiful Qin is not only the school beauty, but also understanding and has a good personality. Unlike that Shinzi, who only knows how to wear glasses and bury herself in her studies all day long, like a silent gourd. She's definitely not as good as the school beauty. And she's a bloodsucker too." Laughter rose and fell. But I, standing outside the door, felt like I had fallen into an ice cave, completely cold. I really wanted to burst in, grab Gu Xingjian's collar, and question him. But my feet felt like they were glued to the ground, and I couldn't take that step. In the end, I still couldn't muster the courage. I could only leave silently, wandering back home in a daze. Only after returning to my room did the tears finally flow unreservedly. In my mind, Gu Xingjian's words played back, sentence by sentence. I still can't figure out why he would give up his long-cherished Harvard dream. We had worked so hard together for so long, finally making it through the college entrance exam. Even a second before walking into the restaurant, I was happy for each other's scores, imagining that we could both get into Harvard together and start a wonderful college life. So I never would have imagined. I tried my best to fight for a future for both of us, but he could easily give up for someone else. I remember that rainy day in middle school after my parents passed away. He stayed outside my house for 3 days and 3 nights because he was afraid I would do something stupid. He finally said that his parents would be my parents from now on, and took me back to the Gu family. So what does all that protection count for now? Is it his pity and charity? Actually, it's not like I have to follow him in everything. But in the years I've spent in the Gu family, although uncle and aunt have been very good to me, treating me like their own daughter, in my heart, I always felt that they were good to me because of Gu Xingjian. Living under someone else's roof, of course I had to put Gu Xingjian first in everything. But now, my score has been shielded, and Harvard and Peking University called this morning to recruit students. And they offered very generous enrollment rewards. So, this time, even without him, I must go to Harvard. Because he wants to accompany the campus belle to repeat a year of high school, so he naturally thinks I should too? I'm not stupid enough to joke about my own future. Since he has someone he wants to be with, then I also have my own broad sky to pursue. Since there are already differences on the road ahead, then let's go our separate ways. After clearing my mind, I felt much better. Everything will pass, it's not a big deal. Don't waste your energy on people and things that are no longer worth it. Just as I was about to go to the bathroom to wash the tears off my face, Gu Xingjian suddenly called me. My fingers subconsciously tapped to answer. Ziyi, come out quickly, I'm already at the door. Everyone's here, just waiting for you. I thought for a moment, then remembered that tonight was Gu Xingjian's treat to celebrate everyone's success in the college entrance exam. I tidied up casually and got into the car to go to the restaurant. Gu Xingjian glanced at me while driving. Ziyi, why do you look so cold today? I smiled. No, I'm not. To go to college smoothly, I just want to pretend nothing happened. After arriving at the restaurant, Gu Xingjian looked around and asked, Qin Ran hasn't arrived yet? His brothers teased, how can we invite the campus belle? Doesn't it have to be young Master Gu who takes the lead? Everyone joked freely, not caring at all about me standing next to Gu Xingjian. Yeah, they all see me as the Gu family's bloodsucker, Gu Xingjian's simp. Even I forgot that I was once Gu Xingjian's white moonlight, the girl he secretly crushed on for years. After he made the call, I heard a girl sobbing on the other end. Immediately, Gu Xingjian frowned, hung up, and apologized to everyone. Qin Ran is not feeling well, I'll go check on her first, you guys eat. Then, everyone looked at each other awkwardly and finished the meal stiffly. Back home, Gu Xingjian sent a message, Ziyi, are you asleep? Don't take tonight to heart, I'll take you out to dinner alone next time. I glanced at my phone, not planning to reply, because I couldn't help but take it to heart. I've decided to retake the exam, let's try for Harvard together next year. Qin Ran now has depression. If we abandon her, she will definitely do something stupid. Don't worry, with our grades, it's just going to Harvard a year later, but for her, it could be a matter of life and death, we can't just stand by and watch. The messages stopped there, and I still didn't plan to reply to him. A fire was burning in my heart. After saying so much, it was all for Qin Ran's sake. Why should her life and death be saved by sacrificing my future? Ever since Qin Ran transferred to our school in the second year of high school, I can't remember how many times Gu Xingjian made exceptions for her. Perhaps, boys just like pretty and generous girls like her. In the days when I silently buried myself in studying, Qin Ran replaced me as the only girl in the small group led by Gu Xingjian. Her laughter was hearty, and she could always get along with the boys. Compared to me, who was always gloomy, Qin Ran was indeed more likable. So during that time, I thought Gu Xingjian had fallen in love with Qin Ran, and I began to gradually distance myself from them, giving them space. But every time I deliberately distanced myself, Gu Xingjian would pull me back. He assured me, Qin Ran is just easy to get along with, everyone is just joking around, why are you running away? Don't worry, I don't have any feelings for her, you already live in my house, are you still afraid I'll go back on my word? I believed him and didn't take it too seriously. After all, Qin Ran's personality was indeed like light, attracting people around her, but attracting people doesn't necessarily mean liking them, right? But later, without me realizing it, Gu Xingjian and she had many secrets that even I didn't know. It seemed that between the two of them, I was the outsider. Even now, he's giving up our agreement and deciding to retake the exam with Qin Ran, and I'm the last one to be notified. My thoughts were in turmoil for a long time, when suddenly a WeChat notification pulled me back. Ziyi, what's wrong with you? You didn't reply to my messages all night. I quickly typed a few words on the screen, I fell asleep last night. Then I looked at the time, today was the day the head teacher gathered us to go to school to get our graduation certificates and photos. When I arrived in the class, I saw Gu Xingjian and Qin Ran were already in the classroom. The seat next to Gu Xingjian used to be my desk, but now she was sitting there. As I walked closer to them, Gu Xingjian said to me somewhat awkwardly, "Z, there's an empty seat in front of me. Why don't you sit there?" I shook my head, "No, thanks." Then I went straight to the back and sat next to my best friend, Lin Qian. Gu Xingjian looked at me, his expression cold, as I didn't pay much attention to him. The students who received their graduation photos first exclaimed, "Our class monitor looks so photogenic. She looks so good in her school uniform even without makeup. She's definitely the female lead in a youth novel." Upon hearing this, Gu Xingjian triumphantly snatched a graduation photo. Soon after, I received a photo on my phone, along with a message from Gu Xingjian. "Look, we look so well-matched standing together." The photo was specially cropped to show only the two of them in the group photo. The girl's eyes were clear but filled with sadness, while the boy smiled broadly, leaning his head slightly towards the girl. I felt a wave of emotions and turned off my phone. I started chatting with Lin Qian about the gossip in school. Just as we were getting into our conversation, someone snapped their fingers on my head. "Come out for a bit." It was Gu Xingjian. I slowly walked to the corridor, and Gu Xingjian grabbed my shoulders, forcing me to face him. "Z, what's with you these past few days? I've sent you messages several times, and you haven't replied." I retorted, annoyed, "Nothing's wrong with me. I'm doing great. You should spend more time caring about Qin Ran." After a moment of staring at each other, Gu Xingjian completely lost his patience. "Shinzi, how come I never noticed you were so petty? I just took care of Qin Ran first at the last gathering. Do you have to give me such an attitude?" I coldly turned my face away from him. Gu Xingjian adjusted his breathing and softened his tone. "Okay, it was my fault last time. But don't take the retake exam too seriously. Anyway, with your grades, you might even get in the top few in the province if you take the exam again." He was about to say something more when Qin Ran suddenly popped up. "Xingjian, come help me choose which tutoring class to take." Gu Xingjian nodded. Before leaving, he pinched my cheek as usual. "Be good." I sneered inwardly. Gu Xingjian probably thought that I was still the same as before, listening to his decisions and everything. So he took it for granted that I would give up the grades I had worked so hard for and retake the exam with him. Well, in his eyes, I was being supported by his family, so I couldn't be an ungrateful wretch, right? Fortunately, I had already made up my mind to apply to Harvard. I glanced at the time, realizing I had to hurry to the arcade in the nearby shopping mall to work. Although the entrance scholarship Harvard offered was enough to support me through 4 years of college, since I had decided not to rely on Gu Xingjian anymore, the more money, the better. Besides, this also gave me an excuse to avoid Gu Xingjian. But not long after, I noticed that Gu Xingjian and his group had also appeared in the arcade. Qin Ran was the first to notice me. "Z, you're working here? Is the allowance Xingjian gives you not enough?" I busied myself at the front desk, not saying a word. Gu Xingjian's eyes twitched when he saw this, and he immediately took out his phone to transfer me some money. "Z, why didn't you tell me sooner if you were out of money? I'll take you to quit your job with the boss right now." I threw down the rag impatiently. "Gu Xingjian, I don't lack money, I just want to experience life." Then, I forced a smile on my face. "Have fun, everyone." Perhaps unable to stand my sarcasm, Gu Xingjian's face darkened. "Let's go, let's have our own fun, we can't control what some people want to do." I watched them cooperate tacitly in the arcade. These were all things I wasn't good at. Gu Xingjian liked exciting, lively games, while I only liked to be quiet and stay still. So I was never the kind of girl Gu Xingjian would like. Taking me in was really just out of pity, wasn't it? After coming out from the restroom, I found a familiar figure blocking my way, propping up his arms and trapping me in the small space in front of his chest. "Z, when are you going to stop being mad at me? Come on. Tell me, what did I do this time to make you unhappy?" Looking into his earnest eyes, I wanted to say that I didn't want to retake the exam, and that I wanted him to go to Harvard with me. But he continued, if it's because of Chin Ran, then I have to say something. There's nothing between her and me. Is it a bit petty of you to always throw a tantrum because of her? The three of us are going to tutoring classes together soon, retaking the exam together, and going to Harvard together next year, so don't always make things difficult for her. After all that talking, it was all about her. I lowered my head and laughed in anger. I was actually naive enough to think that he might be willing to give up Chin Ran. At this moment, Chin Ran's voice suddenly sounded in my ear. Sorry, I didn't know you were here. How is it that whenever Gu Xingjian and I are alone, Chin Ran always manages to run into us? I pushed Gu Xingjian away to leave, but Chin Ran grabbed me. Shinzi, Xingjian has been distracted these past few days because of you. Can you please stop being angry with him all the time? We're all classmates, is it really necessary to be like this? I didn't want to pay attention to her, and walked past her, brushing her shoulder. But perhaps the ground was too slippery. Chin Ran almost fell. But Gu Xingjian caught her. Xingjian, I'm fine, I just don't want to see you two always at odds because of me. How about I apologize to Ziyi? Chin Ran's eyes immediately turned red. As she said that, she was about to stand in front of me and bow. But Gu Xingjian pulled her back. Why should you apologize to her? She bumped into you just now. Besides, you didn't do anything wrong. She's just making a fuss over nothing. She's just idling around all day and knows how to give people attitude. I clenched my teeth and left without saying a word. After leaving, a voice came from behind. Don't mind her, I'm the one who spoiled her. It was already evening after the part-time job. When I came out, I saw Gu Xingjian still standing at the door. Though still wearing a sullen face, he took my hand and softened his tone. Let's go to the bar together, a lot of classmates are there, Lin Qian too. After we're done, we'll go back together. I couldn't think of a reason to refuse for a moment, so I let him lead me away. After arriving at the bar's private room, I sat with Lin Qian. Watching Chin Ran play dice, drink, and mingle with them. And everyone deliberately created ambiguous opportunities for her and Gu Xingjian, joining in the teasing, completely ignoring whether I would be embarrassed. But that's right. In everyone's eyes, I was practically adopted by the Gu family, so what qualifications did I have to be in love with Gu Xingjian? Seeing Chin Ran lose more and more while playing dice, and downing more than a dozen glasses of alcohol. One of Gu Xingjian's childhood friends pretentiously said, "Oh dear, how can we let the campus belle Chin lose so much? You guys should go easy on her." He deliberately glanced at Gu Xingjian as he spoke. "We want to go easy, but we have to see if Brother Gu agrees." Immediately after, Chin Ran seemed to really be drunk, unexpectedly falling onto Gu Xingjian. Everyone cheered loudly. Gu Xingjian glanced at me almost imperceptibly, then said with anger, "Don't take the joking too far." If it were before, I would definitely walk away angrily, and most of the time Gu Xingjian would immediately chase after me, teasing and coaxing me. But now, I have no reaction at all. Chin Ran, fueled by alcohol, wrapped her arms around Gu Xingjian's neck, whispering something in his ear. I only saw Gu Xingjian's ears instantly turn a large patch of red, which also spread to his neck. Coldly watching the two intimately close together, Chin Ran was only wearing a camisole for her upper body, constantly rubbing against Gu Xingjian. The posture was incredibly ambiguous. After a while, Gu Xingjian pressed Chin Ran's face into his chest, picked up his coat and covered Chin Ran's upper body, shielding her from everyone's gaze. That level of intimacy, I had never experienced before. Afterward, he picked up Qin Jian. "She's drunk, I'll take her home first, you guys keep playing." Then he disappeared from the private room without even looking at me again. I silently opened a bottle of beer and chugged it down, still feeling uncomfortable. Even though I had already decided to give up, and had done so much mental preparation for myself. But truly seeing them together in such an intimate scene, my heart still couldn't help but feel like it was being grabbed. Putting down the beer bottle, I silently left the private room. Lin Qian followed me out, unable to resist joining me in cursing on the street. I watched Gu Xinjiang pursue you like you were his white moonlight. How could he change so easily? She wanted to go forward and remind Gu Xinjiang when she saw that I was in a bad mood just now, but I stopped her. Never mind, since I'm not planning on having him in my future anyway, why spoil the fun? After returning home, I simply washed up and lay in bed, my head feeling dizzy. I opened my phone and saw the class group teacher at everyone, reminding us that the application deadline for college volunteers is in 3 hours. Then Gu Xinjiang called. I'm sorry. I promised to go back with you today, but I can't help it since Qin Ran suddenly turned out like this. I heard from others that you drank alcohol tonight. But I'm relieved that Lin Qian accompanied you home. Also, I've already registered your name for repeating the year with the form teacher. In a few days, we'll go to cram school together, just like in high school. Perhaps filled with guilt towards me, Gu Xinjiang's words were particularly gentle at this moment. According to his previous temper, he would have given me the cold shoulder for several days. Even if he humbled himself first, his tone was always arrogant. And then I would obediently follow his cue and forgive him. After all, how could I bear to embarrass someone I truly cared about? But this time, his rare gentleness made me feel lost and empty. Huh? Why are you not saying anything? Don't you always want to go to Xinjiang? How about we go together in a few days? I heard the golden sunlight on the mountains there is beautiful. Actually, it's not bad to repeat the year together. We can be together all day long like before. And you have good grades, so there's no pressure for you to repeat a year. Qin Ran's grades aren't as good as yours, so she'll probably have a tough year. Actually, she's a pretty good girl. You're too quiet, you should interact with her more. Otherwise, you might not make friends easily when you go to college. He babbled on and on, like mumbling in his sleep after getting drunk. So, in his heart, this is how he compares Qin Ran and me. After saying so much to me, he's actually mostly considering Qin Ran, afraid she'll be lonely repeating the year alone, afraid that I and her won't get along if we repeat the year together. I couldn't help but ask the question I've been wanting to ask. So, you've really decided to go back on our agreement and repeat the year with Qin Ran, is that right? There was a sob in my voice that even I couldn't detect. I thought that if he could honestly tell me the answer, tell me his choice, even if he chose Qin Ran, then I would bless them. We could still continue to be friends. After a while, he said lazily, let's go to Harvard together next year. That wouldn't be going back on our agreement, right, see? After getting his final answer, I forced a smile. Yeah, you're the one who knows how to exploit loopholes. In the end, he didn't choose anyone, and he chose everyone. Since he doesn't want to make a decision, then I'll do it. Without waiting for him to say anything more, I made an excuse that I was sleepy and hung up the phone in a hurry. One last time, I opened the university application system and checked the universities I had already filled in. After confirming that there were no errors, I closed the computer. At this moment, the clock hand had passed 12 o'clock and the university application was over. There was no room for regret anymore. That's fine too. The path is chosen by oneself, so one should walk it by oneself. Going to college alone might be wonderful too. But when I closed my eyes, Gu Xinjiang's face frequently flashed in my mind. There was his fervent desire for me in the rainy night, his cautiousness and care when he looked at me, and also his impatient irritability towards me now. We've known each other since middle school, supporting each other all the way. I never imagined we would end up on different paths. Perhaps people are forced by time to learn to separate at some point, so they can understand that no one will stay with them forever in this world. Maybe I was overthinking things. I kept falling asleep and waking up throughout the night. When I woke up again, it was already noon the next day. Most of the messages on my phone were from Gu Xinjiang. I skipped past his messages and opened the ones from my best friend. Hurry up and see what good deed your Gu Xinjiang did last night. And a screenshot of a Weibo post. The Weibo screenshot showed a set of photos taken by Qin Ran of her watching the sunrise at the beach. Many students from the school were commenting and gossiping below. Is the school beauty about to make it official? So many couples announced their relationships after the college entrance exam, and today we finally have good news from the school beauty. I knew it, Qin Ran and Gu Xiao should have been a couple a long time ago. I thought there was something going on between them in school. Everyone, look, they're wearing slippers from a nearby hotel, so... You know what I mean. Smirking, I zoomed in on the photos and saw Gu Xingjian's profile in the soft light of the sunrise, gazing affectionately at Qin Ran. In an instant, my heart felt like it had stopped beating. And Qin Ran's caption was an even more blatant declaration of ownership. The morning light knows who's waiting for the sunrise, and I know who's accompanying me towards the future. Many people liked and commented below, and Qin Ran's replies were ambiguous. Even many of Gu Xingjian's brothers were teasing in the comments section. My heart sank. So, they had already gotten together last night. And he was able to comfort me while simultaneously having a romantic date with his new girlfriend by the sea. A wave of sadness washed over me again. But thinking about my college application choices last night, I was glad that I hadn't given up at the last minute. Otherwise, wouldn't I have become a glaring clown following them around? I turned off my phone screen, forcing myself to sit on the balcony, letting the wind blow away the restless thoughts in my head. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. It was Gu Xingjian. Gu Xingjian had dark circles under his eyes, his hair was messy, and he was carrying a bag in his hand. I stood there until he stuffed the contents of the bag into my hands. I specially chose these shells for you. Do you like them? I called you so many times, but you didn't answer. I was going to ask if you wanted to eat that dessert you like. He ruffled my hair and took out a cake box from behind his back. But I bought it anyway. See how good I am to you. I clutched the shells in my hand, trying to hold back the tears in my eyes. Then I mustered up the courage to ask him, "Did you go to the beach last night?" He took out the dessert while casually saying, "Yeah." Oh, he thought I didn't use Weibo, so I didn't know about the photos Qin Ran posted. He cut the dessert into small pieces and held it out to me. Come on, have a piece of dessert, don't be mad. I waited in line for over half an hour to buy this, it tastes best now. Just as he was about to feed the pastry and the spoon to my mouth, I turned away with a cold face. He threw the spoon into the plate with a wry smile. Fine, if you don't want to eat it, then don't. Qin Ran and I signed up for a holiday tutoring class. Let's get up early tomorrow and go together. Don't bother with summer jobs, you don't make much money anyway, and if you don't study for 2 months, don't come crying to me when you fall behind. I shook my head in refusal. I'm not going to tutoring, you guys go. I'm going out in a bit, could you please leave my room first? Gu Xingjian was stunned for a moment, then frowned and said, Why aren't you going? Didn't we agree on this before? Just to be angry with me? He reached out to hug me, but I dodged away. Please, don't make a fuss, I didn't sleep much last night, I'm really tired now. Besides, if we both go to tutoring class, I won't feel at ease leaving you alone. I stared into his eyes and said seriously, First of all, I'm not a child, I don't need you to worry about me all the time. Besides, isn't it a good thing that I'm not going to tutoring class? It saves you from being bothered by Qin Ran. Gu Xingjian took a deep breath. I knew he was losing patience at this point. So, you're still angry because of Qin Ran? I just don't understand, why are you girls so jealous? Can't you be a little more generous like Qin Ran? I was angered by him, nodded, and said, Yes, in your heart I can't compare to Qin Ran, then you can go find her, don't come looking for me again. Gu Xingjian also got angry, Shenzi, I've already given you a way out, don't be ungrateful. I've already signed you up for the tutoring class, you can go or not tomorrow, it's up to you. After saying that, he got up and strode out. I had no intention of stopping him. As he walked to the door, he said with a dark face, With your nasty temper, it's no wonder you only have Lin Qian as a good friend. The last sentence pierced my heart like an ice pick. As expected, the closer you are to someone, the better they know how to stab you where it hurts. I threw the sweets he bought into the trash. Even the seashell he bought casually, I threw it into the trash. Watching the sunset sink from the balcony, I shook my head. I shouted to myself in my heart, Shinzi, don't be depressed anymore. I opened my phone and decisively blacklisted Gu Xingjian's contact information. Then I quickly opened the job search app and found myself a daytime tutoring job. I also opened my computer and started learning video editing and other skills. I want to keep myself busy, so I don't have time to think about other people and things. The next day, I got up early and got ready to go tutoring. When I was struggling with what clothes to wear, I found that I had nothing but my school uniform. Then I sent a message to Lin Qian, wanna go shopping at the mall tonight after I finish my tutoring job? The other side quickly replied, at your service. I'll show you my new look. Suddenly, a phone call came in, and I answered it instinctively. Shinzi, you're really something, actually blocking me. Enough nonsense, are you here yet? The teacher is about to call roll. Gu Xingjian's tone was a bit hurried and impatient. I said faintly, I told you, I'm not going. Don't be stubborn at a time like this. I've already signed you up. You can't just say you're not going now, I've already paid the money. I said, annoyed, I never said I would go to the tutoring class with you. You decided that yourself. Fine. You have good grades, you can still get high scores next year without attending tutoring classes, I don't care about you then. From his voice, I could tell he was getting annoyed. At this time, I also heard Qin Ran's complaint from the phone, no way, she eats from your house and uses your stuff, and she dares to get angry with you? I hung up the phone and adjusted my expression in the mirror. Who cares what others think, just do what you think is right. The family I was tutoring was very easy to get along with. The little girl was in 6th grade, her grades weren't too bad, and she was very obedient, so it was easy to teach her. The first trial lesson ended early. The little girl said she liked me very much and even brought out her good friend, Duomi. Duomi is a chubby little orange cat. The girl placed it in my arms, sister, I like you to come, even Duomi likes you. I smiled and touched the girl's head, feeling very happy in this environment. After filling up the whole day, I felt like a lot of the dirty stuff in my head had been cleared out. Thinking of going shopping with Lin Qian tonight, I opened my phone to ask if she was ready. Unconsciously, I opened my moments and saw a photo posted by Qin Ran. A side profile of Gu Xingjian sleeping on his desk. Caption, thank you for being with me. A simple picture instantly pulled me back into my memories. For the 3 years in high school when Gu Xingjian was my desk mate, he often slept on his desk. Sometimes when I was tired of studying, I liked to quietly look at his side profile. Countless times I wanted to reach out and slide my index finger down his high nose bridge. Now, he is no longer my desk mate, nor is he just my Gu Xingjian. Teacher Shin, what's wrong? I must have been thinking too intently, I didn't even notice the girl's mother coming over. I shook my head, nothing. I cut some fruit. You've been tutoring my Guogua for so long, you must be tired. Eat some fruit to replenish your energy. Looking at the harmonious family, I felt a bit intimidated. I quickly got up and said, no thank you, Auntie, I have a date tonight, I'll leave first. The aunt said, Teacher Shin is going on a date with her boyfriend, right? I just saw you staring at your boyfriend's photo in a daze. I smiled awkwardly, my heart fluttering uncontrollably. After leaving, I took a taxi to the location Lin Qian sent. When I got out of the car, I saw a short-haired beauty with dyed red hair and a glamorous outfit smiling at me. You've really changed a lot. I didn't react for a moment, but she really looked beautiful. Immediately after, she dragged me to all sorts of shops to buy. Along the way, she noticed I was always lost in thought and began to scold me for being hopeless. It's just a man. Once you get to Harvard, what kind of quality guy won't you have? Besides, you just haven't put any effort into dressing up. Otherwise, you'd instantly mesmerize Gu Xingjian and make him regret it to death. In the following days, Lin Qian took me to get a hairstyle, changed out of my baggy school uniform, bought several exquisite young lady-style dresses, and even did my makeup herself. After her makeover, the person in the mirror really stunned me. Lin Qian quickly took out her phone to take pictures of me, praising as she snapped away, "Girl, this style suits you so well. That aloof face paired with delicate dresses and makeup, it's totally a cold, rich heiress from a Korean drama." I was a little embarrassed by her compliments, and then, without realizing it, I noticed that she had posted all my photos on her WeChat moments. I have such a beautiful bestie, of course I have to show her off. Soon, the class group suddenly had a lot of new messages. Was Shinzi's beauty sealed by her school uniform before? She's so beautiful. Ah, Shinzi is my wife now, wife pat/heart. Seeing everyone's enthusiasm, I thought for a moment and still replied in the group, "You're too kind, Qian just has a good angle for taking pictures." At this moment, Qin Ran's sister followed up with my reply, "Shinzi only looks good from the side." At this moment, there was a moment of silence in the class group. Lin Qian couldn't stand it, and she mumbled and took a live photo of my full face on the spot and sent it to the group. Immediately, the classmates were even more amazed, and praises continued. Even the usually strict class teacher showed up in the group. Turns out the class monitor is so pretty when she dresses up. Everyone should learn from the class monitor, juggling both grades and beauty/thumbs up. Actually, Shinzi looks very good even without makeup, but she usually buries herself in her studies and doesn't show her face much. Agree +1, the person who implied something earlier popped up again with a sour tone. The hairstyle just flatters her face shape, but this time, I didn't have to retort, and many classmates spoke up for me. Soon after, I received an acceptance notification from Harvard on my phone. I hugged Lin Qian and was happy for a long time. The dream I had worked so hard for had finally come to fruition. But then, Gu Xingjian called. "Did you go shopping in XX Plaza? It's getting late, I'll drive to pick you up." Before I could refuse, he hung up the phone. I silently opened the ride-hailing app, but before the page could refresh, Gu Xingjian was standing not far in front of me. With him was Qin Ran. Our eyes met, and Gu Xingjian seemed very shocked. Even Qin Ran was stunned for a few seconds. After a moment of stiff eye contact, Gu Xingjian came back to his senses and walked towards me. The surprise in my eyes was hard to suppress, and I blurted out, "You look really good with light makeup, very natural. I didn't even recognize you at first glance." "Okay, thank you." He pointed in the direction of the car, "Let's go, I'll take you back." I shook my head, "No, there are too many people, it's a bit stuffy, and I'm planning to sleep with Lin Qian tonight." Gu Xingjian's eyes showed obvious disappointment, "So? You're not going home tonight?" Yep. At this moment, Lin Qian's taxi arrived. After we got in the car, she couldn't help but say, "I told you. Gu Xingjian's eyes were glued to you just now." And when he said your light makeup looked good and natural, I saw Qin Ran secretly tearing off her super thick false eyelashes. I smiled and responded to her, thinking that Gu Xingjian's attention was so easily attracted. Then his affection doesn't seem so precious. After receiving the admission notice, the school also specially posted the honor roll on the bulletin board. I looked at my name in the first place with satisfaction, first in the school, 18th in the province, admitted to Harvard. The old teacher saw me from afar and walked towards me, "Shinzi, congratulations on getting into Harvard." I thanked the teacher with a smile. "But why didn't that kid Gu Xingjian come with you today?" "Actually, his score is quite high, although he might be assigned to another major if he goes to Harvard. But repeating a year is also good, he will definitely be able to get into the same school as you next year. This kid is quite devoted." In all my years as a teacher, it's the first time I've seen a student repeat a year for a girl he likes. Yes, indeed devoted. But not for me. The day before Harvard started, Gu Xingjian suddenly called me. This was the first time he had come to me since he went to the cram school. The cram school was boarding, so he hadn't been back for the past month. But from time to time, I could see their daily life at the cram school in Qin Ran's WeChat moments, with photos of them reciting vocabulary together on the playground in the evening and returning to the dormitory together after evening self-study. If I had seen these before, I would have hidden under the covers at night and thought about it for a long time, doubting myself. But now that I'm about to go to college, I realize that the people who made me sad are already in the past. Let's go to Xinjiang for a trip together the day after tomorrow. I've called my brothers, and Qin Ran and you. I've already bought the plane tickets and booked the hotel. We'll stay in a suite. Let's go see the Golden Mountains at sunrise together. Didn't you say you wanted to make a wish to the Golden Mountains? It just so happens that Qin Ran also said that she's been feeling a lot of pressure from studying and wants to relax. I sneered inwardly, so after saying so much, it was because Qin Ran wanted to go, and he arranged everything on his own without even asking for my opinion. I'm not going. Why? Haven't you always been talking about wanting to go to Xinjiang? Yes, I did want to go to Xinjiang, but he didn't ask me if I wanted to go right after the Gaokao. Instead, he brought up going to Xinjiang when Qin Ran wanted to relax. I don't want a bit of kindness someone gives as an afterthought. I just don't want to go now. My cold tone left the other end silent for a few seconds. I knew he was brewing something. Gu Xingjian said in a heavy tone, Shinzi, what's wrong with you? You wouldn't go to the tutoring classes I signed you up for, and you insisted on getting a part-time job. Now that I'm offering to take you to Xinjiang, you won't go either. You need to give me a good reason this time, right? Fine, you want a reason. My reason is that I don't want to go with you. My tone wasn't much better. Fine. Shinzi, I never knew you had such a temper. If you don't go, Qin Ran and I will stay in the suite. I'll see if you cry then. Whatever. I replied casually and hung up the phone. But before long, I received a text message from him. Okay, I'm sorry for my attitude just now. How could I really stay with her? I'll wait for you at the airport the day after tomorrow. Speechless, I deleted the message and blacklisted the number again. Before leaving, I went to the cemetery to pay respects to my deceased parents. Then I stayed at home for a night, and the next day at noon, I boarded the plane, heading to Harvard alone. On the plane, I thought about it and sent a message to Gu's aunt and uncle, telling them that I was going to Harvard. Over the past few years, they had been really good to me, even better than they were to Gu Xingjian, so I had no reason not to tell them. His aunt was happy to congratulate me and even mentioned that Gu Xingjian should take good care of me at school, but she didn't mention anything else. I responded to each of them, but didn't mention Gu Xingjian retaking the Gaokao. Let him explain his own affairs. It turned out that going to college alone wasn't so scary after all. After getting off the plane, there was a welcoming team organized by Harvard seniors, and I was quickly led to the dormitory by several enthusiastic seniors. Most of the girls in the dormitory were from the north and were very enthusiastic. They even took me to eat northern specialty food that night. I originally thought that having lived in the South since I was a child, I would not be used to the northern lifestyle, but being with my roommates made me feel that everything was new and exciting. They also taught me to speak the local dialect, and we stayed up all night talking on the first night. Once we opened up, our relationship was instantly closer. I quickly adapted to university life. The next day, on the way to the new student conference, 2 boys asked for my WeChat. Suddenly, Gu Xingjian called me again. Z, when are you arriving at the airport? We're waiting for you. When I heard his voice, I felt a little dazed, as if everything with him was something from a previous life. I said bluntly, I'm at the new student conference at Harvard, I'm busy. There was a pause on the other end for several seconds. Wait, Shinzi, you're at Harvard? Are you kidding me? Gu Xingjian chuckled. Let me tell you, that joke wasn't funny at all. Where are you right now? There's still some time before the plane takes off. If it's not working out, I'll come pick you up. I couldn't hold back any longer and repeated the same words I had said before, word for word. Then, I heard someone beside him exclaim, Jinji, quickly look at the honor roll on our high school's official account. Shinzi really got into Harvard. Adding to that, the principal was giving an impassioned speech at the assembly. It is an honor for all of you students to come to Harvard. The sound from the loudspeaker finally made Gu Xingjian on the other end panic. When he spoke again, his voice was uncontrollably trembling. You really went to Harvard? How is this possible? Didn't we agree to retake the exam together? How could you have applied to universities again? Besides, Harvard is so far away, in the north. How could you dare to go alone? I sighed. I never explicitly stated that I would retake the exam with you. Besides, you decided to retake the exam because of Qin Ran, so it would be quite tactless of me to stay with you both. But I mentioned things about retaking the exam so many times, and you never objected. You thought you knew. How could you have gone to Harvard? Are you doing this to spite me because of Qin Ran? I was really just momentarily soft-hearted. She cried and said she didn't do well on the college entrance exam and was afraid she would get depressed if we all left and she was the only one retaking it. You've also been depressed because of your aunt and uncle's situation before. You know how terrible it is. She doesn't have grades as good as ours. She has no other choice. Gu Xingjian said a lot in a flustered manner, and I didn't react much. My ears were filled with countless mentions of her. Even at this moment, he was still considering things from Qin Ran's perspective, without any regard for my feelings. Qin Ran's grades were average. Even going down the art path, she was still dozens of points away from getting into a good school. So she wanted to retake the exam, she wanted someone to accompany her. Then why should I gamble my future to fulfill her wish? I have no reason to consider her. I just need to consider myself. Gu Xingjian, since you care about her so much, then you've already accompanied her in retaking the exam. What else are you dissatisfied with? I think Qin Ran wouldn't be very happy if I also retook the exam and was around you all day either. From now on, we're just ordinary friends. I hope you won't disturb my life anymore. Immediately after, all that was left in my ear was a burst of noise, and I hung up the phone. I thought this would be the final farewell. After all, we were separated by distance, with so many quarrels between us. But the next night, Gu Xingjian actually appeared in front of me. At that time, I was not alone. Standing next to me was a male classmate holding a stack of documents just like me. He was quite tall, with deep features, the type of guy who's handsome at first glance. We were assigned to the same lab group and were just about to go to the cafeteria together for dinner. Amidst the laughter and chatter, I noticed a despondent Gu Xingjian standing not far ahead, the street lamp casting a long shadow of him. He looked tired, probably from rushing over. But in his crisp casual wear and baseball cap, he still looked clean and fresh, still that sunny campus heartthrob from high school. He had a backpack slung over his shoulder, looking like he'd just rushed over from somewhere. Even though I'd moved on, seeing him again still made me feel a bit dazed. He walked towards me, his eyes fixed on mine. I have something I want to say to you in private, is that okay? He asked, his Adam's apple bobbing as he nervously awaited my reply. The guy next to me asked proactively, is there anything I can help with? I sighed, I'm sorry, I can't have dinner with you. Also, I need to trouble you to take the materials to the lab group for me tomorrow. It's okay, call me if you need anything later. After he left, it was just Gu Xingjian and me. He came all the way from so far, he wouldn't leave without saying what he wanted to say. But I didn't expect his first sentence to be, you've only been at college for a few days, be careful of any opposite sex who are paying you extra attention. I scoffed, you came to tell me this? That doesn't seem to have anything to do with you, right? It's normal for me to make friends or date in college. Gu Xingjian was taken aback by my words, and his tone softened a lot. I don't know why you didn't stay and retake the college entrance exam with me. I was too confident, I apologize. I thought, whatever decision I made, you would follow me. I interrupted him, I never agreed to retake the exam with you, besides, you were the one who broke our promise to go to Harvard together first. But before, no matter what I did, you would silently follow me. I told you so many times that I planned to retake the exam, why did you still hide from me that you were going to Harvard? Gu Xingjian asked, his voice a little agitated, grabbing my arm tightly. But you retook the exam for Chin Ran. Am I supposed to gamble my future to help the two of you? I asked him, staring back. No, I might have been too confident in our relationship. I originally thought it would be okay for us to retake the exam for another year. We'd still be together in the end. Have you forgotten? After your parents passed away, I said I wanted to give you a home, and you promised me. I even planned for us to get married after we finished college. Gu Xingzhan's voice choked up as he said this. I shook off his hand. But you never really considered my feelings. It was also at the moment I found out that you decided to retake the exam for Chin Ran that I realized you didn't understand me at all. Maybe you thought I only made that promise with you because you said you wanted to go to Harvard one day, so I just followed you and made the same promise. But in reality, even without you, I would have applied to Harvard. Because it's my parents' alma mater, and they dedicated their lives to the aerospace industry. So from then on, I secretly decided that I would get into the aerospace program at Harvard and continue my parents' unfinished dream. Gu Xingzhan was stunned, but you've never told me any of this before. I smiled. Back then, I naively thought that Gu Xingzhan was the one who understood me the most. He understood my predicament, my embarrassment, so he reached out to me. Looking back now, perhaps at that time, he pitied me, who had just lost my parents, just like he pities Chin Ran now. In the end, I told him a lot, which could be regarded as an explanation for each other's youth. Gu Xingzhan, you know, I've only just realized that I've only ever felt gratitude towards you, gratitude for giving me a home-like warmth during the most difficult days of my life. Gu Xingzhan's eyes turned red, and his lips trembled for a long time before he finally said, really? Only gratitude? Later, I heard from my roommates that the boy who came to find me stood in the rain all night and left at dawn. Just when I thought my story with Gu Xingzhan was about to turn the page, Aunt Gu called me. Auntie is really sorry to you. This past year, your uncle and I have been busy with the company's listing, and we've really neglected you too. I didn't expect Xingzhan to actually choose to repeat a grade, while you went to Harvard. That brat must have done something wrong to make you sad. I thought she wanted to persuade me to reconcile with Gu Xingzhan. But, don't worry, your Uncle Gu has already given him a good beating, and now he can't even get out of bed. Auntie Gu. Actually, we don't have any conflicts, it's just that our choices are different, I explained, also to draw a line between myself and Gu Xingzhan. Auntie understands, your choice is right, but Auntie hopes you won't alienate your uncle and aunt because of Xingzhan. At this moment, I heard a clear sob on the other end of the phone. Actually, I haven't had the chance to tell you yet, your mother and I were close friends who grew up together. On the night they had the accident, I was thinking of bringing you over to raise. I didn't expect this kid Xingzhan to be one step ahead of us. Hearing this, perhaps it reminded me of when my parents were still alive, and I couldn't help but burst into tears. So, the Gu family is good to me, not because Gu Xingzhan likes me, but because of my parents. After learning the truth, I felt a lot of relief in my heart, and the heavy burden that had been weighing on my chest disappeared all at once. Auntie, thank you. Silly child, take care of yourself well in college. If you have any difficulties, feel free to tell Auntie. Don't forget to come home and visit your uncle and aunt during the holidays. Okay, I nodded, crying. I didn't expect that I could still have a home. Afterward, I focused on my studies at Harvard. From my conversation with Aunt Gu, I learned that Gu Xingzhan had become much more silent during his year of repeating, as if he was holding his breath all the time. Once, when I went to his room to deliver fruit, I saw a Harvard admissions brochure on his desk. In the summer of the second year, I received a long-awaited message on my phone. I got into Harvard. I hesitated for a moment, but still replied, congratulations, but I'm going abroad as an exchange student next semester, so I won't be able to welcome you. Then, there was no reply to that message. Since then, a new chapter has truly begun in my life. Occasionally, when I think back on the bits and pieces of my youth, I just smile and lower my head. In the future, I still have a vast sky waiting for me to explore.